Welcome to Visual Anthology. In this series of videos, we'll be covering the Bookfair module. In the last couple of videos, we talked about just the basics of the Bookfair module, creating a new Bookfair, adding items using either the manual entry mode, the scan mode, and also the batch entry mode. At this point, we've built up a bit of a draft Bookfair, and we're ready to sort of pack it up and head out the door. So all we do is go back to our sales menu, go to Bookfairs, and Bookfair number 5 is the one we were working on. So here's our draft Bookfair. Again, the header information contains anything pertinent to the event itself, such as deliver the books to the back door. Any particulars of all these titles here. If I discover, wait a minute, I need to actually send more than that, I've got one last item to slip in the box, easy enough. I can increase the quantity of one that's already on there. And in this case, I didn't actually happen to have all my receiving done, so my system does not show that I have 2 on hand that are available to send. But you know what? I don't have time to get the receiving done right now. I will finish the receiving a little bit later, so I can actually override that and say, yes, go ahead and send this item anyway. I'll deal with the on-hands later. So that item is now increased to 2. If it turns out that I do need to add another item, one of those last-minute things they wanted to chuck in the box, easy enough. Just click on New Line, select the item from the Inventory Assistant once you've selected that button. And now I can see how many quantities I'm going to send, enter line, and there we go. We now have that extra title on that Bookfair. Of course, don't forget to save every so often. And at this point, I might want to print out a invoice, or rather just a report of what exactly is marked that it's going to be sent to them. So I may need to do F11 print. And we don't really need a sales invoice right now, so we'll just do a shipping list. And let's sort it by title first. Oops, my printer's not set up. That's okay. I'll just click All Right. And let's preview it anyway. So here's a sample of what this Bookfair shipping list might look like. Now, my customer doesn't have all the address information filled in, so it looks a little empty right here. But you can see that here's the specific title, the ISBN, and the quantity that we've said we're sending to them. Of course, accuracy is important. You want to make sure that you really do have marked correctly however many titles or quantities rather you're sending to the event. At this point, I'm really packed up. The boxes are in the truck. They're ready to go to the event. I need to actually change the status of this draft Bookfair to an open Bookfair. So all I have to do to that is do F12 check out. I'll say yes, I want to check this Bookfair out. And now we're back on the list tab. Notice the status now shows as open. And now everything not only has a send quantity, but it also has an out quantity. Now there's something very important to understand here. Because these books aren't technically sold, they're still our property. The inventory on hand has not been reduced. We've merely made a note that this item is sort of out. In fact, if I wanted to double check that, all I have to do is right click on any item and do master file. That'll take me to the inventory, and you can see that my on-hand is still 5. However, I show in the Bookfair's info panel, info tab, that this item is on Bookfair number 5, and that there are 5 copies out to Garfield schools. In some cases, when you have checked out an event, it's already in this open status. You may get a call later that afternoon once this event has started to do their sales saying that they really could use another 10 copies of a particular book. Well, there's an easy way to do that. In this case, I can try to add more here, but we actually need a little bit more of an official record, like an invoice, a paperwork, to show that we're actually transferring more books out to this event. This event could go on for a week or more even. So, in order to do that, I should go to the Sales menu, the Inventory Control menu, and use Transfer Out. Transfer Out allows you a couple of different functionalities. Not only is this used to indicate that you're removing items from the store, possibly a donation to some charity, you can also use it in the case of the book fairs to actually add more onto an open book fair. Now, let's verify one of those titles. I forgot what exactly we've sent, so let me find an item here. Let's use this title perhaps. I'm just going to copy that ISBN so I can use it in a little bit. You probably would have the books stacked up in front of you ready to go, so I'll do a new transfer out, do F4 new, and in this case, this is where I could indicate that this was going to a charity donation, but in this case, we really want to say that this is going to a book fair. So this shows us all the book fairs that are open and could have more items added to them. So I'll pick number 5. And now I can go in and I can either use the manual entry mode by typing in those ISBNs that I was sending. I could use the assistant button to select and find that inventory item. I could turn on scan mode and scan in those ISBNs. In fact, I'll just paste that ISBN I copied a moment ago. So this is a new item that it's in the inventory, but this is because I'm using scan mode, just catching my attention to say that this item is not on this transfer out. I'll say add, and there's one quantity, so I could continue to scan in the other few copies that I was going to send to this event. Of course, don't forget to save every so often. So you can see that in this case, they've requested 5 copies. I'm actually going to be able to send them 5. Perhaps they had asked for 10 and I couldn't provide that, so I could have said 10 copies requested, 5 shipped, the other 5 cancel. It's really just a matter of your preference, what field you want to use. At this point, I've got this item selected. I've got my transfer out filled out. It is going to go to the Garfield Schools or Sally Johnson's book fair. So at this point, I'm going to do F12 post. Yes, I want to post it, and I can print it. This might be a good opportunity to give them a bit of a packing slip to go into the box that's going to go to them sort of as an extra item. I'll just skip that for right now. So now my transfer out is complete. If I return back to my book fair and look for that Oracle title, I'll see that I now have 5 more copies going out to them. So I had originally sent 1. But now I've added on 5 more. So at this moment, there's at least 6 that are out and at that event. The next step will be to show you how to handle the return, the coming back from a book fair. So we'll continue that in the next video.